mako he maluhia, o mako he aloha, o mako he ho'okahi, o mako he aloha, o mako he maluhia, o mako he aloha, o mako he ho'okahi. We are love. We are peace. We are love. We are one. O mako he aloha. We are love. O mako he maluhia. We are peace. O mako he aloha. We are love. O mako he ho'okahi. We are one. All right, I'm going to teach you some of the hand motions now, okay? Whenever we sing omako, that's we are. So we do we are. And then love, we put our hands to our heart. And then when we say we are, peace, we'll do our hands like this as we are calming those rough waters of emotions as we're bringing peace. So maluhia, good. Omako, again, we are love. And then finally, omako, he ho'okahi is one. Your hands like this, and if you can, touch another person next to you as you are connecting as one. Beautiful. Let's start from the beginning. Try it together. Omako he aloha, omako he maluhia, omako he aloha, omako he ho'okahi. That was so beautiful from up here. All right, now this is a dance. So stand up. And if you'd like, just little itty bitty steps, right? Or big steps, depending on your steps. 1, 2, 1. I'm going opposite than you, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. Omako he aloha, omako he maluhia, omako he aloha, omako he ho'okahi. Beautiful. Touch someone next to you. You're one. You're demonstrating that oneness. Beautiful. Again. Omako he aloha, omako he maluhia. Nice. Omako he aloha, omako he ho'okahi. In English, let's try it together in English. We are love. We are peace. You got it. We are love. We are one. Mahalo. Aloha. That's beautiful. Thank you, Kona Dawn.
Yeah, we'd like to welcome Kona Dawn to our music team today. And Doreen Breed Love, if you don't know her. Doreen and Kona Dawn, thank you. That was so amazing. I love it. I love it when we can bring Hawaii in here in an authentic way. So thank you for that. Thank you. All right, so if you don't know who I am, I'm Rev Rita. This is my beautiful husband, Rev Patrick, and you are at Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. Yay! So, a couple of things before we start. We ask that you turn your cell phones off. Hopefully I turned mine off. It's back there somewhere. And also that if you're going to get tea or coffee, that you get it now and that we can keep our sacred circle, our sacred space sacred while we go through the celebration today, and we're not getting up and down unless it's an emergency or something. And today is birthday Sunday. So yeah, we're celebrating June birthdays, and Emma Lendecker brought our cake today. I don't have any idea what it is. It came from Kaua'i Bakery, I know that. But we like to sing happy birthday to our June birthdays. So if you have a June birthday, please stand. Okay, here we go.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to birthdays. Happy birthday to you.
All right, and we have a couple of announcements. Just a couple, and we'll start, Patrick.
Yeah, we only have 2, well, actually 3. But anyway, here we go. What is next Sunday, July 7th? Anniversary party. 6 years. So what does that mean? That means you have to buy lots of presents. No, I'm just kidding. You are the present, by the way. So it'll be next Sunday at Lidgate Park, but here's the deal. We start at 9, but all of you people that go, wow, 9 o'clock is early, guess what? It's even going to be earlier because we have a silent auction happening. And we didn't do it last year, but we did it the year before. And there were 78 items and really powerful items. But then I heard rumor, Sue Wood, how many? So over 100. So here's the deal. What's that? And there'll be a drawing as well. So there's a lot happening. That's that part. But the bidding starts at 8 a.m. and it will close at 9 for the wonderful service and then reopen again when we have our potluck. What's potluck? That means you bring something to share at Lidgate. Now, also, if there's a sign-up sheet back there for helping out too. The only thing that I am requesting from you, that we are requesting as a community, this is an opportunity for people that actually don't come here and know nothing about it or know something about us and they still don't come here. And so the idea is that's a good time to let people come to this wonderful Lidgate event and let them know about the silent auction, because you know, silent auctions are not something that I always grew up with and I had no interest in whatsoever. But when I saw what it did with the community and everybody came together for that silent auction a couple of years ago, I was in shock at that people loved it so much. So we brought it back.
Can I add one thing? Yeah, no. And I want to shout out a thank you to the people that donated to the silent auction.
Oh my gosh.
And so many businesses on the island gave such amazing gifts also, things like, you know, helicopter rides and you know, raft trips and all kinds of things. So it's not a restaurant certificates. Them, yeah. So we thank our team, our fundraising team, and also Kiana, who's not here today, who was very instrumental in us receiving all those certificates. And so
she has her pulse on all of these things, and she really
you'll meet her next week.
And it was just amazing. And what this does is it's not about the stuff in the silent auction. It's about our connection with our island and our community, and that everybody's saying, wow, let me put something in, let me connect with this group, this crazy group called CSL Kauai. And it's just beautiful, beautiful,
and
beautiful.
The funds for this particular thing are going to our expansion fund, just so you know where the funds are going.
Which our first expansion, by the way, is to get the kids out of the kitchen. and so expansion means this, but expansion doesn't mean this necessarily now. Our first expansion must be to find a space in this building or somewhere for the next year and a half till whatever happens, to get those kids in their own little space where they can decorate it and they can grow. Because if we are stuck in here, just like a plant, it gets tangled up and does not grow. So let's expand our children.
That. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so one other announcement is from Doreen.
Oh, yes. Okay. Does anyone recognize the Artist Way book? Yes. I have this book on my shelf for years, and it wasn't until I actually took a class that I went through the material. So I have designed the class so that we all now can participate with the Artist's Way. And it is an opportunity for us to unleash the creativity within. Do not be scared of the artist part, because you don't have to be an artist. You are creative. This is a guide, a spiritual path to higher creativity. So there are 12 weeks, because there's 12 chapters. And we go through a chapter a week. And I've designed it so that if you happen to miss a week, that's okay. You won't feel left out. The value, though, is to commit to doing the 12 weeks, because that's where the miracles happen. So please join me. It starts very soon. It starts on Monday, July 12th. 15. Yeah, just like right around the corner. The book is necessary, so let the ministers know.
Let Roseanne in the bookstore, whoever's in the bookstore, know if you need the book, because we will order it. But
or Amazon, right?
Or Amazon.
So so come join me. That'd be fun. Unleash
Looking
the
forward.
creativity.
Unleash your creativity. Thank you so much. And then last but not least, does everybody know who Charles Woolfork is? Yeah. Charles, who does so many things, and that's the reason we wanted to do the announcements today, is because he's also on our board. He helps out at the camera. He helps, and this man truly believes in the word service. It is in every cell of this man's being about service, and it doesn't matter if you watch him washing cups back there. He's just as happy as he is when he's up here, mesmerizing all of you with the announcements. So here's something, because he doesn't do much around here, he wanted to find out if there's any way he could participate. For 6 years, we have been a little bit with this volunteer coordinator. The volunteers are the core of a center, of wherever you are. It is the core. And so we've been looking for a volunteer, and some people have stepped up, and then a couple of people we talked to too. It requires time and energy and a whole bunch of stuff. So we were in the board meeting, and Charles said to us, "What does that entail?" And then I told him half of it so that it wouldn't like throw him. And so then I tell him that now. So Charles Woolfork is now our volunteer coordinator.
Yay! Woo!
Jump up real quick. Jump up.
Come on. Yay!
And what did I say? Say something.
Okay.
I know you won't have a hard time saying something. You can stand behind the podium if you want, or you can stand right here.
Charles, everyone's volunteer.
I love all you guys so much. You guys are my spiritual ohana, and service is my superpower. And I really find it fortunate that I could come here and be myself and serve you guys every single weekend. So now I get to serve the people that serve you all, and then serves the whole community as a whole. And I'm proud to have this position, and I'll do my best. Yeah.
Okay, believe it or not.
Oh, wait,
That
was it, one more
Oh, yeah.
word. See, Roseanne, these books, the Science of Mind magazine, you don't want to, if you have never gotten a Science of Mind magazine, it will help anchor you every day. There's beautiful articles from people of all mystical traditions, from people in Science of Mind. It's amazing. So, in fact, this one is featuring One Giant Step, Years in Space, from the moon
50
landing
years.
to M87's black hole. So it always has interesting articles and a special prayer for each day. It's really spectacular. And we're offering one for the regular price of $5, and the other one is half price, so you can give it to somebody else. See, Roseanne?
That's right. There you
Okay, all right.
Wow, what a deal.
All right, so we're going to invite Dr. Peggy up.
And this is our time that we remember peace. We light our
Peace.
candle, and
we can breathe into this, let all the announcements go, let everything else go, and just bring our attention here and now in a moment of quiet reflection,
in our beautiful new candle.
of peace.
I can get it.
help her. It's all right.
I'm the expert at this.
Yeah, please do. I'm good at matches.
She's good at matches. Okay. I love it.
I was a smoker for many
right.
years. I know how to do a light.
All right. So let's just take a deep breath and anchor ourselves.
You're welcome.
Take a breath into our hearts, and from our heart space, from that space of aloha and love. And just breathe slowly as we center on peace within. And now, Reverend Dr. Peggy will take us further into our time of contemplation.
So as we join together here in this beautiful space and experiencing the silence together and this beautiful music, I found this wonderful quote. It's from Facebook, but I really loved it because I think it says everything about kindness. It says, "I want to say thank you to the rare few individuals in my life who have listened without judgment, spoken without prejudice, helped me without entitlement, understood without pretension, and loved me without conditions. I want to say thank you to the rare few individuals in my life who have listened without judgment, spoken without prejudice, helped me without entitlement, understood without pretension, and loved me without conditions." So join me with these thoughts as we move into the stillness together. want to say thank you to the rare few individuals in my life who have listened without judgment, spoken without prejudice, helped me without entitlement, understood without pretension, and loved me without conditions. This is love. This is spirit. This is God. This is that beautiful energy in which we live and move and have our being. It is the power that drives all good in the universe. And we join together in it and as it. And so on this magnificent and beautiful day, as we come together here, as we have hulaed and sung in our beautiful opening, we are that aloha, we are that peace, we are that oneness, and we join together here, knowing this, in this beautiful space, knowing it for those who are in streaming, watching us today, knowing it for the community, the island, and the entire world. We are joined together in aloha, in kindness, and in love. And so as we begin this day, we also begin this day knowing that we have more than enough to be sufficient today and unto all days in our lives, for we are abundant. That we bless this abundance, and that we know that as we move through this experience of life, there is also this pure wholeness that is spirit itself, living and moving and expressing itself in and as and through us. Each of us, whole, perfect, and complete, just as we are. That creative spirit, that creative energy is that which supplies us spiritual coin for us to move out into the universe and know that we are making a difference. And we are fortunate to live in such peace in this beautiful place called Kauai, in this wonderful Center for Spiritual Living, Kaua'i. So we give thanks for this day. We bless it. We give thanks for each and every person who's made it possible for us to be here today. And we extend that gratitude out into our lives, cherishing each and every moment as we simply give thanks, releasing this word into the law, as the law, and joining together and saying, and so it is. So I invite you now to wiggle your toes and move in your seat and be here now.
Thank you. And it's so good. So Doug, Doreen's partner, is here even when he's not here. That was him playing, right? I love that. They go through a lot of effort to make sure we're musically satisfied every week. Thank you. That was beautiful. And we attract amazing people to CSL Kauai, and I just want to acknowledge that.
That was Doug popping in.
That was Doug saying, yay, thank you.
Aloha.
I want to acknowledge Dr. Peggy. Maybe some of you are wondering why we call her a doctor. She's a doctor of divinity. I don't know the exact title, but doctor of consciousness. And it's a title that you receive after so many years of studying and service to Centers for Spiritual Living. And I guess that's a good way to explain it. But the reason I brought it up is because we attracted this beautiful being and her wonderful husband. Where is he? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. He's over there. I'm used to seeing him next to you. Anyway, to the center. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So here we are. For those that just walked in, I'm Rev Rita. This is Rev Patrick. We are married. People say you should say that because you have different last names, but that's why I added Feren to the last of my name. But anyway, you're in a Center for Spiritual Living where we practice this beautiful thing called the science of mind and spirit, which is all it is. I'm just going to keep it really simple. It's just you are God, you are the light, you are the divine, and you are expressing that as your life. And you impress this energy field with your thoughts, with your beliefs, with your emotions mostly. So we like to think from our highest place, because if we think from our highest place, our lives unfold in that way, no matter what's facing us. So thank you for being here. Thank you. Hey, Kyle. Yay.
And just to piggyback on that, that whole idea of, that you are God, you are the light. And that can be a little overwhelming to chew on when you first think about it. So I want you at least to invite you that wherever you are in your evolution is exactly where you're supposed to be. And so we meet you where you are, and you meet us where we are, and then we realize that we're all in this together as one. So who is here for the very first time, speaking of which? There, yes. Aloha.
Why do you seem so familiar to me?
Because she is familiar.
She is
We're all
familiar.
familiar. But anybody back here too, the very first time? Okay, so here's the deal. We know something about you, and I don't want you to get over, but we're going to share it with you. And what that is shall we do it quickly before she panics out of this thing? So let us just know what we know about her right now. You are magnificent. There you go. And she accepts that. I love the smile now. Yeah. What? Who said something about? So we know that about you, and we say it every week. And it's interesting. They say, you've been saying this since day one of this center. And they go, aren't you going to do something new? No, because I'll tell you why. Because we're constantly reminding ourselves on a daily, moment to moment, breath to breath, how magnificent we are. So shall we all say it together with our wonderful first timer right here? I am magnificent. Oh, yes. And not that I have psychic powers like Miss Nancy from Romper Room, but there is a camera back there, and it's not just and there's a cameraman back there, and that's Rob. And there are people that watch every week, or at least every other, or they archive it and they watch us, and they let us know how important it is that what we do here, they get to experience. And there are people that are not feeling well right now that are able to jump in on that. So a couple of people I do want to shout out to. Analia, who is now back from Oahu and now is recouping at home, and we just say we love you. And we have Angela's mama, who watches just faithfully. Sandy, we love you, and we're expecting you to come over here to this island real soon. And we have Marilyn and Terry, and Terry's doing a little recouping too. So you know what? It's just wonderful to know that people are out there and just allowing that healing energy to come forth. So I will not do my romper dumper do, but I will say, but we will let you do this. We will tell you who you are wherever you are in your house or whatever. Let's go. You are magnificent. Now look to your left, to your right. I don't care where you look. Look back there. You are magnificent. You are magnificent. Let somebody know you are. You are.
Yay.
You are magnificent. You're magnificent.
Wow. You know who you are. Do you know who you are? Yes.
Okay, let's get up on our magnificent feet for our opening song. And there's Luis over there. Aloha, Luis.
I am ready, I am ready, I am ready to create. I am ready, I am ready, I am ready to create. I am open, I am open, I am open to receive. I am open, I am open, I am open to receive. 'Cause something amazing is changing in me, and something sacred is awakened in me. 'Cause something amazing is changing in me, and something sacred is awakened in me.
Can you feel the change? I do. There is a shift happening, and it's happening right here and right now, because that power and presence of spirit, of life force, of love, that divine presence is within each and every one of us, and it's always shifting, it's always changing. but it's also constants, the constants of love. So I know something amazing is happening in me, and something amazing is happening within each and every person here, and I am grateful to know that, and grateful that we have come here today, this divine appointment that we are each experiencing in our own unique, individualized way, and I expect the good. I expect this beautiful collaboration of spirit, this raising of the vibration of love as we gather here today. So I am grateful for everything that unfolds, because I know it is the unfoldment of spirit, and it is perfect. So I just take this word with such mahalo and gratitude in my heart, and I release it. I let it go as we affirm together, and so it is.
Okay, let's do it again. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready to create. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready to create. I am open. I am open. I am open to receive. I am open. I am open. I am open to receive. 'Cause something amazing is changing in me, and something sacred is awakened in me. 'Cause something amazing is changing in me, and something sacred is awakened in me.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Let me have some water. So here we are, deciding to be kind. I think we're already kind. We already are. We're just expressing more of it each and every single solitary day. So I've been focused on this topic, obviously, all week. I do focus on it when we choose a topic. And you know, this whole month has been about decisions. So really everything is a decision. Everything is a choice. Everything, we can choose to be kind. We can choose to be rich. We can choose to be loving. We can choose to be healthy. We can choose all those things, because that is what spirit does. It's in a constant state of choice and volition. That is our given divine birthright. So always remember that. Everything is a choice. How we experience everything is a choice. So thinking about this idea of kindness, of course I think about like all the, I was looking on the internet, and there's always comes up random acts of kindness, right? And you read things and you go, wow. A friend of ours that lives in Canada, somebody bought, you know, his lunch before he was in a drive-up window thing, and his lunch was all paid for ahead of time. And that was a random act of kindness, right? And then I read this thing about these 100 people that came together to lift a bus. Have you ever heard this story? I think it was in Britain or somewhere. Lift a bus off a bicyclist who the bus had gone on him or something, and he couldn't get out from under it. And these 100 people off the street came together to lift a bus off this person, and they did. And so, you know, there's always like these opportunities to serve in that way, because kindness is a service, right? It's a service. And like when we see tragedies, usually is the place where we see it a lot, because for some reason in our nature, Mark Nepo said that what lengths we will go to if we are pushed to our true nature. So I always like ask the question, why the tragedy? Why the tragedy to be kind? Now, what's interesting is that on this island, we have an aloha spirit. We have a kind spirit here of helpfulness and service and love. I remember when I first came here, I was kind of shocked. I lived up in Princeville, and I came from LA, right? And so people were asking for rides to the airport. And I was like, I don't understand why they're asking for rides to the airport. Why can't they just get themselves to the airport? I had like a judgment about it because I was like, why would they be doing that? But now I come to understand, as I came to live here more, I realized that that's just the nature here. And I now, my natural nature is to ask somebody if they need a ride to the airport, if they're going to the airport. It's just like comes naturally to me now. Like, why would you go to the airport and spend whatever it is a day to park your car and not have somebody drive you right up to the thing? So it makes total sense. And when I go to the airport, I get a million, like, not a million, but, people. Why do we say things like that? It feels like 500,000 of going, of somebody wanting to drive us to the airport. So that's like just an example of the aloha spirit. And I kind of want to honor my daughter today. One of my daughters. I have a daughter. She's in her 40s now. It's hard to believe that she's in her 40s. My oldest daughter, they're all going into their 40s now. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I know. I'm a white boy. Anyway, my little Jenny, bright as a penny, she was my firstborn, and she had a lot of issues when she was younger in the area of learning disabilities and stuff like that. But in that time in the 70s, we didn't really know that much about it. We didn't really know, and we just kept trying different things and putting her different places and getting her all this help and everything, but we didn't really know that part of it. So she had like a little difficult upbringing. But what she is probably what she turned out to be and always was, but she probably came to earth that way, is one of the kindest people I know. And I just want to honor her today. So kind that even though she was like, she was bullied when she was younger, but she took that and turned it into wisdom. She took that and said, I learned not to treat people that way. And now I just go out of my way to treat people with kindness. And to the extent that sometimes I worry about her because she stops like in the middle of the night and she'll see somebody lying on the side of the road, and she got out of her car once on the freeway and went to help this person to find out and call 911 and stuff. And I'm like, okay, Jenny, and I can just see her with her little heels running down because she wears really high heels, running down to do that. But that's her heart. That's her heart, and she has a kind heart. So I bless her like every moment, knowing that she's safe and that it's just good. She's good. So I want to honor her. So there is that thing in us that will be kind when we see somebody in need and when we see, or if there's a tragedy. And I was talking to a friend, and I go, why in general, now I'm not talking about Hawaii now or this aloha spirit, I'm talking about in our culture, there seems to be a tendency to wait for that, to be kind, right? And so I believe that the thing that's going to save our planet is being in a state of being of kindness all the time, no matter what is happening or who the person is, and that even when it's a deed that someone did that is horrendous, and not that they shouldn't pay for that deed, and the law should take care of them or whatever, that we could still have a heart of kindness, of allowing to send that person love, to realize that everything is actually our reflection. I mean, if we look at the science of a Ho'oponopono as taught by Dr. Yu Len, and if you don't know what that is, he's the doctor who healed the people in the mental institution. It took him 2 years, but he used the Ho'oponopono. He didn't know the people, but he realized that it was his consciousness that was creating whatever he saw, because it was being brought, if it's in our field and we recognize it, because God recognizes itself as itself, it just can't help but recognize itself, and nothing is out of our field. And so he took that and was able to heal himself about those people, which is what we do in spiritual mind treatment, and the people were healed. I think the hospital eventually closed down. You can read the story. It's documented. I'm not making it up on the internet. How many other people heard the story? Yeah. If you've read Dr. What's his name? Dr. What is his name? Doesn't matter. Vitali. Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, you can read the story there, and you can read it on the internet. So it is a state of consciousness. So kindness, compassion, as the Dalai Lama would call it, I believe that compassion and kindness is the same thing, is a state of being, a state of consciousness that we get to carry with us all the time. And then when we're asked to extend ourselves for some reason because somebody's in need, that would just be like a natural thing. And it is, like Mark Nepo said, we're pushed to our true nature. We're actually pushed to it because that's what Spirit does. It pushes us. If we don't go, it pushes us. And I think a lot of times we see these things show up in the world, so we'll be pushed to our true nature and come to realize more and more who and what we are so that we can heal ourselves first and then the planet. We are finding this out now. We cannot heal this planet if we don't heal ourselves because we are the planet. We're not going to get away from it. We are this universe. We are the life force. We are it. And so I think of it and taking it down to a smaller place, like a microcosm. I go to myself. How judgmental am I? Even if I never say it, how judgmental am I about what somebody's doing or what somebody's saying or how somebody's living their life? I might not say it out loud, but what am I feeling? Because what I'm feeling, and if you talk to people that have come back from near-death experiences and stuff, they feel everybody's feelings because they've gone into that zone of the field and they feel it. And even now, when we walk into a room and we feel like we're not liked for some reason or whatever, I don't know if anybody's ever had that experience, I have, you can feel it, right? Now, what is that? That's your own consciousness being reflected back to you. So the place to start is not by trying to change everybody else to like you or everybody else to think you're wonderful or whatever, but to change your own consciousness first, and then you would have to reflect that back to yourself. Does this make sense? It makes total sense. It's not easy to do sometimes, but I believe that it is the place to start. It has to be the place to start. There is no other place to start but within ourselves. So remember that thing, that saying, is it kind, is it true, is it necessary? And then I guess they made an anachronism out of it. Oh, not an anachronism. What's it called when they put the acronym? Thank you. True, is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? I think there's a key there for us all, for me anyway, because I had an experience this morning when I wanted to say something and I didn't say it because I put those words in my mind because I've been thinking about them this week. And I realized, no, it's not always kind to say something. It's not always necessary to say something. But just because I'm not saying it doesn't mean I'm not thinking it. So therefore, before I open my mouth, I need to go back in and say to myself, why are you feeling that right now? And what needs to change within you so that you can be a more loving and healing presence in the world? Because we can't, our responsibility, one of our responsibilities, one of the biggest ones, is that of healers. And we are all healers. We are all, you don't have to be a practitioner to be a healer or a shaman or anything else. We are innately healers. We're born to heal. And it has to start in our consciousness and how we feel about others and how we think. And if the moment that we get that we're all one, the moment we get that, really get it, and let it land and work from that place, I think the biggest shift on this planet, it's already happening, right? And as soon as enough people catch on to it, I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to go, poo. But we're already going, poo. We're already doing it. So we can't wait for others. We got to start now. So I think the place to start is in our microcosm world, right? With our families. I mean, I could say a lot of things, that I'm not like, I could judge my family a lot. I mean, or I could go, oh, they're judging me. They think I'm in a cult, blah, 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 Interesting, Dr. Raymond Charles Barker says, the one that we're studying in The Power of Decision, says that people reflect back to us what we reflect to them. So that is interesting. I had to think about that one a lot, and I'm still thinking about it, so I won't talk on it yet. But if somebody has an opinion of you, he says, that's your opinion of yourself. And I was like, oh, okay, that changes the whole game. Right? So that one I have to think on a little bit more, but it's something worth thinking about if you feel like you're being judged for any reason. So I think that kind of lost my train of thought there, but Yeah, I think the place to start, that's where it was, is in the microcosm of our families, of our friends, of the people we meet with daily, and just, go within first, ask if it's kind, if it's necessary, is it inspiring, those questions. Is it kind? Is it necessary? I'll just go with it. Is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? Because true is a big word, right? Because true to us is true to us. It might not necessarily. Usually true is an assumption that we're making. It's not necessarily true. So is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? I think that just those three would be good, right? So that's what came up for me this week as I thought on this topic of kindness and the fact that it is an inside job and it's not just about doing good deeds or doing random acts of kindness. Those will come naturally before we're pushed to our limit. We'll even notice them more. We'll notice them more. We'll walk down the street and we'll see something that we couldn't have known. It might be something really subtle, and we'll say the right thing and we'll help somebody just because we said the right thing in the right moment and we didn't even know we were saying it. So anyway, I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for this topic. And I know it's a decision, and I know we're each capable of making it. So take it into your day. And if you haven't already, I might be behind all of you. So, and that's okay too. I probably am, because I'm usually only talking to myself up here. So, yeah, well, it's true. All right, so thank you, and I love you, and I honor all of you, and in your journey, wherever you are, and we are all like this together. I mean, it's just like this matrix of energy. We're all here together, so it's good. So, aloha. Yes.
Thank you, Kona Dawn, for being here and for being our musician today. So appreciate that.
Good fun, as they say in Hawaii.
Good fun.
Good fun.
Yeah, this is a fun song. Thank you for the topic of kindness and for the aloha that is where we are and who we are. So. Aloha begins with me. 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 When I walk down the street, I will smile to all I meet and say aloha. When I drive on down to town and the traffic is slowing down, I smile and say aloha. On this island of many races, we are blessed with all God's graces. Ua ke o kana, ikapono. Ua ke o kana, ikapono. Take it away here. Aloha begins with me. Aloha begins with me. Aloha begins with me and you and you and you and know the life of the land is perpetuated with righteousness. Mauke okaina ikapono.
Aloha begins with me. Aloha begins with me.
Aloha begins with me. One more time.
Aloha begins with me.
Aloha begins with me. Aloha begins with me.
Mahalo. Now I know why they call us the happy people, right? Aloha. Oh, I'm so glad you brought those in. And Konadon, it's so good to see you. It's okay, I'm just bringing focus on you as you were trying to do that. I was supposed to go away from that. So how's everyone feeling? Good. Aloha. Yeah. This was an interesting topic of kindness because you think you got it down, right? Because you're like, well, that's easy, kindness. But there is so much more to it, and you know I'm going to take you down that elevator to where this whole thing came up for me. I believe, as Charles was saying, that service is a superpower. I believe that kindness is a superpower. And I had an interesting experience working on this, and I'll share it with you. I was kind of at that point in the message where I was like, I don't want to get too like syrupy, you know what I mean? It was like, because I was feeling all like kindness. And I was like, oh, I'm dripping right now in this syrup of greatness, and I loved it. But then all of a sudden, and I had to be very careful because God forbid we ever get political, right? Because that's stepping on grounds that we have to be careful of. Not because of are we going to get in trouble and have our hands slapped. It's because we're all individuals and we're all seeing it from a different perspective. But I had to share something because in the midst of this quote that I'm going to use, I was at the computer and I started uncontrollably crying. And I said, I'm not going to try to recreate it. I'm just going to bring it up and see if I have the same feeling. And obviously I do. I did not watch all the debates, but I watched some highlights. And I'm going to use a quote from Marianne Williamson, but I'm not going to use who it was directed to because we all know. But I am not going to stoop to that place in my being. But I'm going to let you know what this quote said to me. And it's the small part. If you want the big version, then you go. But it says, it was addressed to the fact that we are using fear. We are using fear for our political purposes. And that can be the microcosm as well, right here. It doesn't have to be the federal, yes, I laughed at it at first as well. But here's what she said. I'm going to harness love for political purposes. I will meet you on that field, and love will win. Now, here's the deal. This isn't about Marianne Williamson. Who knows who she is? I mean, yeah, of course. But not as a political candidate. I'm going to read it again because this is what came up for me. I'm going to harness love for political purposes. I will meet you on that field and love will win. We've heard it before. It's not a new quote. But something else resonated for me in this world of kindness. And a question came to mind. I heard people saying very unkind things about those and saying, you know, she can be secretary of chakras, secretary of crystals, secretary of what? And that's not my point about what was unkind, but that's what stirred inside of me. It has nothing to do with whether or not I'd want her for president, but what I do want to know is this word about love. And the question that came is, why is that so far-fetched? Why is that a concept that feels so unbelievable? Why should that be something that would be mocked? And I'm not saying blame them, I'm talking to us. I'm talking to me. Because even I had, well, we gotta beat that. That won't get on there because people won't buy the love game, And I'm thinking, who the hell lives in you, Patrick? I mean, who are those voices? It isn't about Democrat or Republican or any other thing in the world. It's about the question, why? And I want the answer before I leave this planet. Why would love being the way of the political field, why would that be so awful? Why? That's who we are. Before we were Republican, Democrat, anything else, we were love and are love. So that is what we need in our political system. I started not only with, and Rita wasn't even, she was in another room working on hers. I'm in my little closed room like, why am I crying? I'm crying because my DNA was being shot off, which is love, by the way. And I was in disbelief like a little boy going, this is crazy making. This is crazy making. We can be a little cynical at times. I had a friend who I absolutely adore. She's not on the planet anymore. Her name was Lady B, B-E-E. She was quite a piece of work. And I knew her, she was African American, about 20 years older or something than me, and I knew her through my theater days. And she was a little bit bitter being a black woman and going through what she has went, and she tried, and she had lots of love. This woman was based in love, but she used to say to me, when I was a very young man, I met her like at 22, 24, and she would say, yeah, she had a very low voice. She would say, the meek shall inherit the earth, all 6 feet of it. And being a young man wondering, I was like, what, Lady B, activist? I didn't act like Gomer Pyle when I was 24. But just so you'll know. But I said that, and I've heard it, right? And then last night, I wept that we would think that it would be so awful to be kind and so awful to be loving that there is something wrong with it, and the only joy we get is to be under the ground because it'll never be known. And I said, I don't know if I like that saying that I had heard before and didn't really analyze. Look at all the things we say, just like things that were passed down, little phrases, little things that you don't even know why you were even saying them till later on you have a wake-up call. I don't want to be jaded about this any longer. David W. Orr, and I love this, he says, the plain fact is that the planet does not need more successful people, but it does desperately need more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of every kind. It needs people who live well in their places. It needs people of moral courage willing to join the fight to make the world habitable and humane. And these qualities have little to do with success as we have defined it. You're not a success because you win. We're not a success because we're right. It does not happen anymore. We're a success because we came here as love, and that is what we have spent our entire amnesic state trying to remember. Oh, please, Patrick, don't get all political. But there is something wrong if love can't be used for political forces when I have 300 of my kids detained in a cage. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And I am in a position not to fight. I don't want to fight anymore. We've been doing that forever. And let me tell you something. The people that are against love as the source, How well has this other crap been working for everyone? Would it be so terrible to try something new? So today I announce my presidency of the United States of America. Ooh, look at me. I was getting all serious, like sweating. I was sweating with that. Woo! Oh. Woo! I'm getting all serious, right? I always know when like the armpits are sweating and stuff, I'm like going, man, don't lift your arms or anything. You know what, you guys, oh, I guess we can't say you guys anymore. Oh, dear God. So sometimes I just like to, so y'all, this is what we're gonna do, y'all. So now you know who you're voting for in 2020. Here's the deal. I cried because I was about to bypass my feelings about this. And it has come time to remember who we are. It is our DNA. It is our DNA. It is our DNA. Dr. Emoto knew it. We've been talking about this forever. That when you say beautiful things to people, no matter what, that a healing takes place. And then I think I'm all justified because of what he's doing or they're doing, and the whole time I'm injecting poison back into my system. And so does that mean you don't stand up? No, it doesn't. It means quite the opposite. It means you do stand up. But I'm going to stop pointing that finger, and I'm going to look back at me. And what can I do? What can I love? If he could stand there, Dr. Emoto could prove that you can look at dirty water that's filled with it and allow it to become crystallized and clean, then I certainly can do more with my mind than I'm currently doing. And so every time we are in the need to be right, and I already know I am, so why do I fight it so much? But every time we try to fight that whole idea of them and they and this, we are right in the mix of living hell. Yeah. And we have an opportunity now to demand love. And I really thank Marianne Williamson. Whether or not I would vote for her, that isn't why we're gathered today. We're gathered because she has a book, remember? Return to Love. Maybe we should try it. Oh, this is the big thing. Why don't we at least, that was my little boy who was talking. Can we at least try? Can we try? Because the other isn't working. It hasn't worked. The war doesn't work. Even when you win, you don't win. And so there shouldn't be a day that we don't go to bed at night, for me, that I don't say, what's going on in my world? I am so tired of being desensitized. How I could look at children going through what they're going through is just one example. And for me to continue on with my day like nothing's happening, I would never do that to myself. And so then people go, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Love. Love. Love yourself, and that's part B. Quick B. I love it. Humans, they say, are the only mammals with a prolonged gestation period. Therefore, kindness is sown in the framework of our DNA. We are literally wired for kindness. There is not another mammal that has a baby that is so helpless, and that we don't just say, wow, there it is. There's a big world, go on. Yeah, you can do it. We're the ones that say no. I mean, we've taken it a little bit far. You know, kids are moving out at 40. But I think we've just stated a little too. I make up words just so you'll know. The dictionaries almost want to commit suicide when I get up here because they're like, did he use that word? Like that, or isn't one for? But that's that whole idea that we have it in our DNA to care for one another. We are injected with that wonderful thing called love and to care for one another. We just got off the track. Wow. You know, there was a time that I would have never have sat in front and stood in front of people and taken a moment to know what the next word I wanted to say. We're not helpless, everyone. We have a love that's so powerful that's backing us like we've just been doing the opposite for a really long time. And so my idea now, that I leave you with, the reason it can't happen out in our world is because we forgot to be kind to ourselves. We have condemned ourselves long enough. We have lived in the past long enough. The moment you start treating yourself with that divine respect, and you start loving yourself and being kind every time you want to say something mean about you, that you take a moment to be kind. How can we be kind out there if we're not kind in here to ourselves? It's impossible. So when you say, what can I do? Those children, what can I do? The world is doing this. There is something to do. You can do it today. You can do it right now. I love you, Patrick. I love that you care. I love that you love. I love that you feel. I love that you're kind. But the points I get for being kind out there mean not as much as that wonderful feeling of being kind to myself through all of the things, through all of the addictions, through all of the pain, through everything, through all of the fear. We get to be kind to ourselves. What'd you think? It was going to be a joyride today? Is that what it is? Mother Teresa, and I will semi-end with this. Mother Teresa's poem titled Anyway. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfishness, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. That statement was definitely wrong. Being kind and being loving doesn't mean you're a pushover and you're not going to inherit the 6 feet of this earth. That was a lie. But I'll tell you what isn't a lie. That every single person I'm looking at right now is love. And you have power. And love is that superpower. And we are all superheroes and heroines here. And we get to use it. And the only costume we need is the one we're wearing right now. I am complete. Namaste. Alrighty then.
Okay. So as our Malama team comes forward.
And we have like 5 of them today. They're all over.
Yeah. So this is our time of our love exchange. And we thank you in advance for your gifts to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai that allow us to move forward and to be here on this island and be here in the world and to do the things that we do and as a community. So thank you in advance for that. And we are a tithing organization. I say that not every Sunday, but just so you know that you give twice here because it goes out into the world. And also 5% of it, 10% of it goes out, and then 5% of it goes in that jar. So that's our way of saving and expanding, that we just take 5% out. And so basically the center is sustaining on 85%. So anyway, so thank you in advance for all of that. And I think we have that's it. I think we just have a song. I'm always used to doing the affirmation first. No? Okay. Are we ready? Let's do it.
All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been and all that I'll ever be is a blessing so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. For it all, na 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 na. Grateful for it all, na 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 na. Na 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 na. Grateful for it all. So I lift up my hands now, and I open up my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been and all that I'll ever be is a blessing so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. For it all, na 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 na. Grateful for it all, na 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 na. Na 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 na, grateful for it all.
So together we will bless our giving here as we read the affirmation. I have given freely and joyously from my fullness of my overflowing wealth, and I know that my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses Center for Spiritual Living Kaua'i, my life, and the world. And so it is. Thank you, everyone. Okay, do we have children today? Yes, we do. Yay. Two beautiful little girls and Janice.
Ooh, I
Beautiful
see
woman.
clay. I see something.
Yeah.
It's.
So Janice,
I love
this is
that.
beautiful Janice.
Yes, I was so blessed to get to work with these lovely ladies. And today we talked about friendship and how to be a good friend to others and to ourselves. And they made some things they may want to tell you about.
I made a school, and it has a tiny playground in the back. And I made a friendship flower. And for me to be a friend to myself, I take care of myself.
Thank you. Do you want to tell about yours, what you made?
Wait,
I can hold it.
I made a flower for my cousin Tylee. She's really nice, and I made a watermelon and a strawberry and a heart.
Yes, thank you. Janice. Thank you, girls. Thanks. So let's give them their blessing. You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent, and we love you. Yay! Look at those smiles. I love it. All right. Did you announce the practitioner?
Okay, the practitioners serving today are Dr. Reverend Peggy,
Dr.
Doreen.
Peggy, Doreen, yes.
Rob,
Rob,
Rob
yes.
is back there as well.
Malia.
is coming up.
All right.
Yes.
That's all, because I think Roseanne's speaking in the back.
We already sang.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. What?
I was getting some.
Does Emma want something? No. Okay.
Birthday you? Yeah. That's very
and
nice.
yeah,
So that's a good
That's
announcement.
Emma who provided
So
our
Emma
treat today. for
provided
those who
the
don't know.
cake today. Let's give it up for Emma. And also, And also, if you have a June birthday, she has a candle for you, and then you'll blow it out before the cake.
Oh, and now we want to announce these.
Yeah. So we have our practitioners up here. So this is what this is, and if you're here for the first time, this is where these wonderful, wonderful trained licensed practitioners are here to serve you on Sunday. And that means if something has come up for you during the service or just something in your life that you want to have a little bit more understanding of, and that means knowing. And so this is how it works. If you want a session with any of us, you just give a call and we will, and there is a fee for it, but that's a whole different world. That's an hour session. But if you want to come up here today and just take a moment, if something's going on, I'll give you an example. If something was going on with finances, I would just walk up. I don't have to tell the story. The details, what's behind the story is the most important thing. And that's the feeling behind it. Just walk up and say, I need some real clarity right here. Thank you. And they will take it from there. That's how simple we have this life of ours, that we're infused with this thing called spirit. You can call it quantum energy field. It doesn't matter, but we're all in the same one. So with these wonderful people, what we know for you is that when you can't know it, I can. And that's the power. And I'm swimming in the same sea of receptivity that each and every one of us are. That's the power behind this. So utilize them. They are here to serve you. And Rob is in his little office back there. So if you need him, Charles will step aside. And then, no, I'm just kidding, Charles. I'm just kidding. Okay, so that's what we do on Sundays.
So I think we're ready to close out.
Let's stand for
Let's
this.
stand and have
This
it. Mahalo
is-
for your energy
yeah,
today,
and
everyone.
This is our last week of this particular topic, right?
Right.
Yes.
All right, so let's just sing it out like we really mean it.
Yeah.
I decide.
And it's written by you, Doreen.
Little reggae here. This world that I live in reflects my desires. A world that works for everyone. A world where everyone thrives. I am love. I live my truth. I walk in faith. I stand for good. I am ready. I am able. I decide. I decide. It's a call from within, a place deep inside. I follow my heart and let my light shine. I am love. I live my truth. I walk in faith. I stand for good. I am ready. I am able. I decide, I decide.
And what I know right here and right now is that we have made a decision to remember who and what we are, and to remember that there is a sea right here, a sea of receptivity, a sea of gratitude. And I am so grateful for each and every one of us in the room has brought that beautiful consciousness that each and every one of us is, and everyone online that has brought their consciousness and allowed no separation between there and here. There is only one place. And so I am so grateful for Mr. Charles. I am grateful for Walt Weiss, Angela, DJ, Melissa, and Chia. I am very grateful for Rob Jones back there. Rob Jones and Jonathan Lee. And Roseanne, Peggy, Emma, waiting with a candle and everything. Ron Stover and that wonderful hospitality team back there who's dancing. Wow, that's a really, oh yeah. All right, and so what we have is Janice and George and the kids and Donna and Rosanna, who is counting the wonderful, wonderful abundance as we stand here. And we have flowers by our beautiful, beautiful Peter and Arlena, who are blessing us next week as well at Livegate. So we are so grateful, so grateful. And we have Doreen. We have Doug, who's probably watching right at this very moment. And we have Luis over there. And who's the newcomer? Kona Dawn. So we bless him, and I bless this beautiful, beautiful Reverend Rita, who it is a joy, an absolute joy to live with and express with, and just in total gratitude.
And
Yes.
we are celebrating our 18th anniversary tomorrow. Yay!
Oh, wow. But we lived together for 2 years, so it's 20. Yes. And so I am just swimming in gratitude right now as we get ready to have that cake. Is everybody ready for that gratitude of the cake? Yes. So I just bless it and take a moment to remember that it is never, ever, ever too late to be kind. It is never too late to stand for love. Love is the only force that will ever move anything and is moving it right here. And as I declare my presidency, I declare each and every one of us that we are loved. Say with me, I am love. I am love. I am love. And so it is.
Yes. All right, so here it is. We're going to do our call and response, full passion. Tell me who you are. Here we go. Ready? I'll say it first. You say it after me. Love. Peace. Peace. Joy. Joy. Abundance. Abundance. Harmony. Wholeness. Beauty. Kindness. It is me. It is you. It is mine. It is ours. Yes, so let's sing together. Here we go. I am ready. I am able. I decide. I decide. I am ready. I am able. I decide. I decide. I decide. I decide. I decide. Mahalo, and so it is.